Yeah, you were patient with them, as we are with people. And I think that's a good lesson that we learn that people are at different stages, organizations at different stages, and you can't rush them, and you definitely can't get mad at them. You have to really just stay professional because when it's their time, they'll show up. They'll be there when it's their time. And a lot of times we've got to recognize that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. We've got coaches celebration on Saturday, and let me know if you don't have the link. Many ways that the link has been passed on. I don't know if you know this, but we have a Team Get page also on Facebook. A Team Get page on Facebook, and visit that page from time to time. A lot of information. I think you can follow that page, and you'll receive some of the information that when I post on Team Get. Um, Post coach era. We know it never ends, but coach did his job and successfully, and we can all attest to that. I believe that we all have memories and something that impacted us that we will carry on individually based on our interaction with coach and our personal impact. Post coach, what does that look like? Post coach. He did his job and ran the course, finished the race. Well done, my good and faithful servant. We're up at bat. Now it's our time. It's our turn. It's our turn. Our turn at bat. What does that look like? We're going to have the convention, of course, coming up here on the first, and then we've got the Travmanity thing on the Thursday, and then the start of the convention on kind of on Friday, and then the real big day on Saturday. And I'm sure everybody remembers here, but you can earn a special edition Coach commemorative T-shirt. Earn a special edition T-shirt that says, "I'm Coach's number one." Everybody on this call would say, "I'm Coach's number one." Over
I'm
the
coach
many
number
years of
one.
his career, very few of these T-shirts were ever given out by Coach. Created to honor and celebrate the life of Coach, this limited edition T-shirt will be a lasting keepsake for those who knew, loved, and were inspired by Coach. And so from now until convention, if you reactivate or recruit someone back into Surge 365 or recruit a new business partner, you'll receive one of these exclusive commemorative T-shirts. You must be present at the convention to receive your shirt. And I would have to think that after even the convention, you could probably order one. I'm not sure, but I would have to think so. And even at the convention, you can probably buy one. Not sure, but I would love to think so. But what is now our responsibility now that coaches
Lee,
go right ahead?
well, our responsibility is to continue to grow and succeed and
Succeed.
carry on the legacy of his vision, which was to change this world. I know one of his visions was that we'd help 10,000 families get free. I know one of his visions was that we would be known in the industry as the number one supplier of the travel opportunity. And we are. We're the pace setter. Our organization within the company is number one at doing that. And we're proud to be a part of that. We were so blessed by knowing Coach and meeting him at convention, and is willing to stop and pray with us when we met him, that was the weekend that Linda was diagnosed with cancer, or what could have been really bad cancer. And he prayed with us. And she went on to have something in surgery and things that she's come through it. As you know, anybody that's met her, she's vibrant and we're excited about the future. But it was intense prayer with Coach that touched our lives. And I'm so proud that we had the opportunity to be able to meet him and spend time with him, even though it was brief. And like I was mentioning, our taking advantage of the travel by funding my travel program, Rick. We're using one of the services, one of our suppliers, Diamond Tours. They've literally set up in Lancaster, PA. There's a theater, and every year they choose a theme. This year it's on Noah, and they're going to they have a play of theater, and they do it. Well, Diamond Tours has a bus that they can join a tour from Buffalo to Lancaster. It also goes to Philadelphia, see the Liberty Bell, going to Lancaster and see the Amish. It's a whole tour. And it's a 5 day crew or bus tour, 4 nights, and includes food and hotel and the whole package for under $800 a person. And
Wow.
they printed up brochures, and the ones that have got in the kitchen for the church is made out to Res Life Travel, so that when everybody signs up and goes on this trip, the benefits coming out of this crew trip for members of our church, they don't have to belong to our church to go. But well, so the idea is that it's going to fund the missions of our church. That's
Wow.
what we're able to do through travel and through Surge using the vortex. So
That is
this
amazing. That, as Delby Santiago would say, that is amazing. You know, the fact that we have a tool that we can use to create an income stream for whomever, whether it be an individual, whether it be a church, whether it be a business, an organization. We have a tool. And Ron, you've opened the door, with the church, and I know you have mentioned Arda and her church also
Yes, First
wanting to take
Baptist
a look.
Church of Leesburg, Florida, is also interested in looking into the program and possibility of them taking advantage of utilizing it for this church. They actually have three churches in central PA or near Orlando.
Oh, Leesville Artist
Yeah,
Church?
yes.
Really?
They actually have
Wow.
they have four campuses, four different churches that they operate under the First
Can you
Baptist.
imagine how many, once we start this ball rolling, and this is really a ball rolling for everybody on this call, of being able to provide a fundraising opportunity, especially as we approach the summer. All these people traveling, summer break, and then when they go back to school, you got fall break, and then right back rolling around again, the holiday season. That is so huge. But as we transfer this wealth, it's going to create a story. And Ron, we'll be able to document that story and pass that on, to the folks on this call and beyond of the,
In
the money
addition,
that's, huh?
Rick, in addition to that, in the process of our coming and completing this, and of course, they signed up and they ended up with a credit card and they've joined. They're legitimately members, owners, and they've done it. They bought the whole package. They started the junior executive and then they're upgrading. Well, the neatest thing is two of the pastors don't have retirement. They worked for the church for 30 years, but they don't really have retirement. And both of them have said that they both raised their hand and said, "Hey, we just got to figure out how we can do this, and we won't be interfering or intervening with anything with the church, but we can see that this can be a retirement program for us." So it's already ready to grow.
So you're using the marketing side, Surge 365. Of course, you brought the business in, and even the church in, and even of course the church bringing on another church, or either you can do that directly to yourself. And since there's no relation there, and you can do that. So you can bring on artist church. So using the marketing side of the program, but let's say the church, they're using the travel side of the business. You're setting up the trip there, the bus tour with Diamond Tours. They're using the Vortex, and I'm sure they'll have some of the staff members who travel here and there use the membership programs. And at
Yeah.
some point, when the money is generated, oh, the missions program with the travel too, and the Vortex and so forth, and the members program with the folks who are going and traveling as missionaries to different places. But as the money grows and comes back to the church, that's a story that I'm sure there's another church that their sister church or whatever there that will be able to bring on board. And since your church understands the network marketing side of it as a business profession, as a business tool, as a marketing approach, there's no problem bringing another church on board, through the marketing side of Search 365. And so that's going to be huge because they're not only on the travel side, your church, but they also have the junior exec program.
And Rick, the coolest thing is that our purpose is to, go and convert and share the word around the world and make an impact. So we have missionaries around the world that we can support because of the funding this is going to do, and then the buildings and the programs. And how many times, we've all experienced COVID that changed how people support the church. Nobody has a problem with having been paid through the internet anymore. That used to be a hang up. I had a pastor who said the only way you support a church is through the offering plate. Well, that's not true anymore. Everybody registers, and we have ours on automatic pay so that, every Sunday I don't have to worry about writing a check. It's already done auto and it's paid for. And if there's a special program comes along, we can always adjust for it. That's a great thing. So it creates continuity for the church and expansion. And we're all about expanding the impact and the strength of our church. And, we can support the individual out of what we do. We can actually support a single project from what we do, from what this program is going to earn the church. I love the fact we can help our pastors have retirement. But
Man, that's a
honestly,
huge
they have an
deal. That's
answer.
a huge deal. Hmm?
They didn't have an answer, Rick. And Pastor Dan or Pastor Dave jumped out of his chair. He said, "We're in." When we were showing him, he goes,
You
"We're
know,
in."
it began with trust, as everything in this world, but it began with trust and them trusting you and Linda.
That's
And you
true.
guys have done quite a bit to show that trust, through the different programs that you guys have supported, the Valentine's Day, event and so many other things that you guys have shown that you're legitimate and that you're real and you're in it for the right reasons. But it began with that. And that was a relationship over time, established with the pastors and the different pastors at the church. But yeah, man, that it's not an overnight thing. So, but what does it mean after now that Coach has done his deal? And here we are now. We were just talking about that, Ben and I, about a week ago when Coach started YTB. He was in his mid 60s when he started YTB. Fast forward to today, many of us within the range of 10 years or so are at that point of Coach's start with YTB. And now it's our turn. And there was a whole life that Coach lived after they started, YTB. in his mid 60s. That's where we are right now, that we are at the front and it's our turn. Isn't that something?
It's our turn. I'm excited and also just thinking about the moments and the times, but we are the company within the company with our own visions for why we came here. And we're just going to continue building upon it. We're excited about it. We have the vision is in place. We're here because of the vision we had before we even knew this company and building holistic life. We're building people who want to have some fun. We're building organizations who want to bring some hope into the community. We're building our own families, getting them out here. Like we're going out to the ranch today, and we're going to run around with the horses and a big, huge barbecue on massive land. A lot of fun, and we're just going to continue what we're doing. We're ready. Let's go.
I'm hungry.
I know. You made us hungry in
Come
a
on,
word.
Ron.
No, that's something like what you just said, Janelle. You painted a picture for all of us that we immediately wanted. That's the business. Janelle said we're going to have a big old. We're going to have everybody's going to have some horses. We're going to have a great time on a vast plot of land, and we got big barbecue. That is a picture. That is a picture right there. And is it possible in the business to paint a picture that you speak from your heart? That's the business right there for someone who is at the point where they're ready to hear and to listen. Like you were saying, Ron, those two pastors that don't have a retirement. How many people out there have no retirement? How many people out there have no, but they're working toward the future for? There's a lot, there's a lot. And we have the answer, but you can't force it down people's throat. But I truly believe this, and this is Malcolm Gladwell. I always come back to Malcolm Gladwell. He said your wealth is created by the times that you live in and your preparation for those times. Do you have something that people are going to need during this window, during that time period? If you do, they're going to they will chase you down. They'll find you. And I believe we've got something that everybody needs, or at least uses. They don't know about us yet, perhaps, but everybody is traveling. You look on Facebook, you see groups going everywhere. You know,
Airports are full.
but it's interesting though, and I'll tell you my experience, but I see my friends and groups going everywhere. And especially if they list a hotel, I'll take a look at that hotel price through my membership. And if it's significantly less, and usually is, I'll inbox them. But nobody responds. Oh, well, I can't say that nobody responds, but that's not something that moves people to action. It's been my experience. I don't know. Has anyone else had that experience at all? But I mean, even though, and I'll take a picture of of our site with the savings, and I'll post it in there. But that's not something, in my experience, that has been moving people to action. Anybody else have any experience in that?
Rick, you shared something very early on with Lynn and I, and that's that if you understand, this is really key, not because I'm saying it, but we learned it from you. If somebody has a cause, a reason, there's something inside of them that they want to go somewhere, do something, accomplish, they're servant leaders, they're givers, they have a need to do something. not for their benefit, although they like it when they get a benefit, and that benefit may be strong enough to them to close the deal. But if they don't have it in their heart, you could talk to your blooming face. You know, you can go to the grocery store, you can buy anything at any time for someplace cheaper at another grocery store. The same is with everything. It's when you can add value, when you can make something that affects the inner person, then you're going to connect.
It's good. It's good. Were you saying something, Chris? Or Glenn?
Hey, it's what they've been saying all along that now, with situation as it is financially in this country, that compensation plan is bigger than ever. We can show all the fun that we have, and you can make money on the travel side, of course, but now that compensation plan is huge. And there's a lot of people that need what we have, and they need the compensation that Surge can afford them if they're willing to plug in and work for themselves. We have the tool, and the time is now. So it's not just the travel; it's that compensation plan. And now with this power line getting ready to kick in,
I know,
hey,
huh?
we're ready.
That's good.
I want to piggyback on that. What some of the things we have experienced, it's not necessarily the needy, because if it was the needy, we would have multi millions in here, because the need is so great in the economics right now. But it really is about something that ignites in you when this opportunity comes before you. Something in you has to ignite and agree with that. That's what happened with us. I'm telling you, I was in that room 5 minutes. We were already, doing things with our family. We already had the vision for our family to travel, and we needed some extra income because Glenn was working 2 jobs. I was running in the door. Our background, retired military, and he's still working 2 jobs. I'm working an extra job, and we're running the door. I'm trying to get the food on the table, dealing with the kids. I said, "This is nuts. This is nuts." And so if we
Mhm.
can find something that is absolutely that we can work part-time, that is very something we can share. Our family means the world to us. If you look at our posts, you can go back 20 years and you will see our posts. Everything's with the family, the community, having some fun, which we're always doing. So just like you said, if that was the thing, we would have millions in here. But what I'm seeing is it has to be a need in you that says, I agree with that. I want to take part in that, but seriously, we wanted the extra on the end of what we're already doing to have a check coming in.
Wow, that's good. Did you have something, Chris?
Yeah, I finally made it. I actually muted myself, I think. But so I've done similar to what you were saying on if I see where somebody posted a hotel or this or that, I'll screenshot either a vortex or a membership pricing, and kind of like you said, the response is little to nothing. So I don't know how or why, but
That's not
I
a
know if somebody,
motivator.
yeah,
And so you don't have to necessarily do it.
Rick, I remember we shared this with we have a lot of family members in the team, right? We shared this with Glenn's baby brother, Minister QA. About 10 years ago. He came to the YTB convention, brought his son, right? It 10 years later, literally, he got started. They have activated, come together as a couple. They're out here traveling right now. They took that and ran. We didn't have to do a thing. He said that was a part of his vision, and it was time for it to move. We didn't have to beat him over the head. He came to us and says, I'm ready
Yes,
now. The two other ladies who
good.
just
I'm going to give
received
the
their
phone to
rewards,
Linda. Good.
Their reward vacations. One of them is in Virginia. She called me up and she said, "Hey, you sent me a link about a year ago. I'm retiring as a CPA. This just makes sense, and I want to have some extra income in a fun arena." Got started. She said, "My husband and I travel all the time. This just makes sense." Got started. Just received her reward trip. Another one in New York. Same conversation. Called me up. She said, "Hey, sis." She says, "I've been watching you for years. Tell me the real of the deal." We had a 5 minute talk. She says, "I'm going in here and I'm going to purchase today," and got started. Just received her reward trip. We're not doing anything special. They wanted this. Both of them were coming up on retirement. Same story. And are still here today and traveling using the product.
I'm believing this in the cycle of time, how things kind of just come around again. And as I mentioned, right where we are right now within this window is where Coach started. And so I want everybody to just think about this. The knowledge, the information, the confidence, all of that you have right now at the same place where Coach started YTB, like right now in Search 365. And you being at this right exact place, basically, of opportunity. And many of us who were around in those days of early YTB know that it wasn't the website, because the website had links that didn't go anywhere. The company was kind of just fledgling kind of along, and that wasn't the excitement. The excitement was something that you couldn't put your finger on. And it may have been, like you're saying, Glenn, it may have been that people needed money, the move of travel to the internet, people already traveling. A lot of those things I think that was back then are also right now during this time of us being at the same place that Coach was, to be ready and prepared for society getting it, for people getting it, for social media getting it. And so looking at how time kind of cycles, I can see with the positioning and the knowledge and everything that we have right now, just like Coach back then, he was pulled into it. The crowd pulled him into it. Society pulled him, the need pulled him into it. And all we were doing was just getting the word, letting people know, getting the word out. And immediately when they were hearing it, they were like, yeah, yeah. And so I believe the time is ripe for us all.
Absolutely. One of Coach's final mission was to position us
Ooh, that's it.
for now. And that was his final call. And he walked it all the way out. You have to see it for yourself. It's like Chantel was saying. And don't waste time. The tools we have work. The process we have works. I sent I sent a video through the app to a guy to look at, and his response was, "Well, that's a lot of eye candy."
A lot of you say eye candy.
Eye candy. So I was like, okay. Um, if you want to know more, I just stop wasting my time there. If that's all you see and the information I gave you was eye candy, then I'm moving on. Next.
Hilarious.
So
That
don't waste
that is
time.
hilarious.
They see it or they don't, and you don't have to convince anyone. Back to you, Rick.
And the reason, like you're saying, you don't have to convince anyone, because whatever you share with people, they will connect it to their world. I mean, if he had something that was a need in his world, he could make sense of what you sent him. But he didn't make that connection. So he's just looking at what you just sent him as eye candy versus I'm in this situation. I need to prepare for my future, or this is going on, or that's going on, or I'm always traveling. You know what I mean? It would have connected to something. What you sent him would have connected to something, but like you're saying, since it didn't, you just keep moving.
Allow them to disqualify themselves.
You're the one doing the interviewing, and so allow them to disqualify themselves. We save a lot of time, save a lot of time.
Hey, Rick, we haven't said it in a long time, but I used to say it quite often. You can't climb a fence leaning towards you. You can't kiss a girl leaning away from you, and you can't push a rope. And sometimes, as we see ourselves, we might be in the position where we're trying to push the rope, and it ain't going to get us anywhere. And usually, when that's that kind of person, you're going to burn up a lot of energy and passion, and they don't appreciate it. So it's not you're being selfish or mean, but you're not supposed to waste your time. There's some scripture that talks about that. I won't preach now. But, what we do, like when you called us and said, "Hey, Ron," and we said, "Hey, Brenda, hi, Rick." And we always say it's you, Rick, but it was Brenda. And we got to know you guys. And you said, "Hey, you can join us in the travel world and you can do this and that." And, we've literally, because of you, unlike you, Rick, I'm a Gideon. And part of my life's work is to get Bibles around the world. And because of you and Brenda sharing this opportunity with us, I literally have gotten Bibles into Cuba. Now, number one, it's illegal to own a Bible in Cuba. It's communism. They don't allow it. And you can go to jail for taking them there. Well, what we've got is an opportunity to serve and make things happen. And that has happened because we got connected with you. Thank
Amen.
you.
Amen. It's true. And so I believe the timing is coming in society. Always back to Malcolm Gladwell. It's society that people are going to start seeing, what we have travel as an opportunity. And with the knowledge that we have, I think everybody on this call is just getting ready to explode with the knowledge that we have. Because you can't chase people like Ron, you're saying you can't climb a fence, you can't, that's leaning towards you, you can't kiss a girl leading away from you, can't push a rope, you just can't do those things. But you can be prepared for when they get it. And me knowing everybody on this call, you are well prepared. You're not behind. You may say, well, you're not ahead. You're right where you're supposed to be. You know just enough to be dangerous. And I believe that's how it was during those days with us and Coach way back when we knew just enough to be dangerous. But like Chantel was saying, it's positioning. And so we're all in position. We're all in position. And society's going to get it, just getting involved and getting engaged, helping someone. Ryan and I talk about this a lot, being that servant leader that you can get out there, that you're not so isolated, and you're talking to people at church, you're talking to people on your job, you're talking to your friends, and I don't know about family, but, depending on how your family is, you're talking to friends and family, and you're
I was
letting
in the
them know.
hospital talking to people.
Ron's in the hospital talking to people. He's got a special rehab thing going on that puts him in front of other people as well. And he's talking to everybody that is in earshot.
It's
He's talking to
powerful.
everybody.
Hey, Glenn, I just had a comment for Glenn. Isn't it great that because of the eye candy that we've got, that you get those cavity checks so often?
Yes, indeed.
Now, you listen to Ron and Linda. They just got a bonus check, a bonus check, just to have the opportunity to receive, compensation, to receive an increase based on an action. Huh?
That is so powerful. And really if you look at Ron and Linda, they're just sharing with everyday people. People that are approaching them because they live in the neighborhood and people heard about them and people are going through real life and they're like, "Hey, I'm going through this. Can you help me?" And they're just saying yes. They're just open. And I remember Coach Tomer. This is sitting on me. I'm looking for the clip. Coach reminded us, don't miss this. Don't miss this one. When Coach stepped on up, we rose up to another level. All right. And at this level, we are now the visionary leaders in place, ready to go. And it is our turn. Don't get frustrated with life. I know that story, living the story. But the legacy that we are pressing through and into is because of the story. Use the story to step up. Serve the story. If something's ailing you, if something happened, whatever this is, Coach ran on a passion that, you know what, I am going to make sure into 3 generations of your family, checks are going to be coming in your name. The legacy that you are leaving on this earth is because you stayed put. We're in a new era. The era just shifted. Don't miss this. What does that mean? Okay, the company is owned by Dr. Christopher Coakley, who was ready to take on the responsibility. Everything was in place. All he had to do was say yes because he was ready, not only ready in person, but ready financially. This is not an easy move for anybody, but to be prepared and be ready, and we could all step up and say, I'm a part of this era with what's coming now, the building of the now
That's good.
with Dr. Coakley and Delby Santiago. You have got to make up in your mind, I am going to meet them in person. It's a sacrifice. And I was writing some things about Coach out there today. And I just started remembering the things that he had shared with us. And he said, there is going to be great sacrifice. There's going to be sacrifice. Are we willing to do that? Are we willing to be sacrificial? And I'm going to tell you what, it's not easy all the time. It's a hard decision. Glenn and I are sitting here looking at each other, talking about, hello, what you see over there? Hello, what you see over there? But at the end of the day, we made the decision together. We're going to that convention. It's going to work.
Amen.
Everything will be fine. We're literally 2 away from helping somebody step up in their life from the next $1,000 bonus. The next $1,000
And
bonus. People,
action
this is a
creates
gift. Come on.
opportunity.
Yes.
You guys just going, action creates opportunity. It draws it like a magnet. And you guys just going will draw the $1,000 bonus that pays for the trip. That's why you just do what you want to do and life will make whatever adjustments. What happens is life sometimes people is bogarting and people, they take it and it's like, oh my gosh, again. No, do what you got to do based on a rational understanding, that emotional, spiritual, do it and watch how life makes the adjustment. That's how I live my life. And life always makes the adjustment and then says, hey, I'll help you. Like, oh, I thought you were against me. No, it's for you. It's for you. And when you move, just the action alone creates an opportunity. But like you were saying, Chantel, Coach, 67, beginning of YTV, all that success and where he started and what he knew when he started. Fast forward to us on this call right now in the range of 60s, whatever, and in Surge, the beginning of Surge, and our future in front of us. Just like Coach YTB, the YTB, his future in front, all the money that was made. Us right now, Surge, the beginning of Surge, power line, like Glenn said, starting now with the first of August. Everything right now, Chris just buying the company. Everything right now where we are in the knowledge that we have, the confidence that we have, the understanding that we have, now going forward in Surge 365, our generation. Wow.
Thank you, Rick.
That's powerful because in just like in YTB, Brenda and I came and joined YTB in 2007. No, I'm sorry, 2004. But we were there when society got it. We were um, maybe in preparation, 10% prepared of what we knew. You know, of course, I'm always learning. It's like, okay, I gotta understand this. I gotta understand this. I knew enough to share it with a guy who knew everything that brought 7,000 people to the team. And so in 2005, 2006, I met him in 2005. 2006, we were overriding millions. That's the power of the compensation plan, like Glenn is saying. It may not be you. You may not be the one. You're just in position to pass a torch. This guy comes on board. He brings 7,000 people to the team. When he came on board, we're like, okay, how are we going to pay our bills? How are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? July 2005. He comes on board, and between September and October, he made $22,000. We made 11,000. We made $11,000. And I was like, wow, that's a neat way to make money. This was overriding him. And I was like, well, actually more than that, like 50% match of all. But, and then my sister passed away in 2006, January 2006. And we were like, okay, how are we going to pay for this funeral? And we were at the funeral, sitting around the table with the funeral director. And he's saying it's going to be this much, this much. And we're sitting there going, oh my gosh. And just a quick story, my mother had one of those TV insurance plans that you pay on, but they don't pay out. And so she had a little paperwork with her. And so she said, oh, I got my paperwork. So she says, and so the funeral director says, oh, let me take that. And I hand it to the secretary, see what it's worth. It's like worth like $27 after years, right? It's a total scam. But anyhow, so we're like, man, I think we've got a YTB check at home. And so call my daughter. We're sitting around the table with the funeral director. Call my daughter and he said, Brittany, go check the mail. We're expecting this YTB check. She goes, checks the mail. She said, yeah, you got a check here. I said, well, open it up. Are you sure I can open it up? Yeah, open it up. They don't open our mail. She opens it up. It covers and then some, the whole cost of the funeral. And we tell the director, proceed. And I was like, wow. See, folks don't realize that the thing that you're doing today is going to be the thing that rescues and prepares you for your future if you move. What if we hadn't moved? I just left the job, 100K a year plus whatever. Said, nah, I'm out of here, going to the community. And the life began. Where I thought it may be an end, it was the beginning. The thing that you're thinking is the end is the beginning. Coach is coming to his place, his natural reward, but it's our beginning. This is your beginning. And to take advantage of that and to understand that with the knowledge that you actually have right now, everybody on this call that you have right now at Surge 365, at the beginning, Man, get ready, get ready, get ready.
Absolutely. You know, our pastor has been pushing on us to say Moses had his time, King David had his time. Well, guess what? Now this is our time. And it's the same thing with Surge right now. You can look back at the past first convention we went, there was 20,000 people there. But guess what? Back to the future, now is our time.
On that note, anybody else before we close? Ron, anybody?
Well, Rick, yeah, I'd like to share a story.
Go right ahead.
About 10 years ago, I'd been at that time, I built a company, plastics company from 79,000 27 million. That was in the outside old world. And they wanted me to move to California for the home office. And I couldn't do it because Linda was having cancer treatments in Buffalo. So, anyways, we had to make some moves, and the company gave me an ultimatum. And I was doing pretty well in the normal standards in the corporate world. And when we didn't make the move, so did my job. It went away. And there weren't a lot of six-figure income jobs around Buffalo. So real quick, we got in economic trouble. We lost the home. Well, about that time, I had been a guy at church introduced to me by the pastor's wife. And then the next day, I saw him walking down a busy street in Buffalo with a suitcase. We took him in our house for 4 or 5 months and clothed him, fed him, did everything. Well, then when I went through that thing with the job, we had to make a move. He introduced us to a law firm that was supposed to restore our mortgage. We gave him the money because we had an appointment to be out of town. We went. He took the money and ran. That was my retirement. Well, you know what? Short time after that, a gentleman came into our life. Some people know him as Captain Lon King. And opportunity for us just happened to just happened. You know how that goes. There was this company that he was investing in called Intiva Health. Well, it was a merging, expiring company that was on the cutting edge of medicine. Today, they're known as the number one supplier in the medical field around the world. And they're about to take and spin off one of their divisions, which we had invested in, a small amount. It's now worth a fortune. Everything we lost, which at that time was our home and everything that we lost is restored in the investment we made. And because, by the way, we also got a bonus because we're getting Bitcoin being paid back, not only investment in stock, but in Bitcoin. And if you looked at the market, what Bitcoin is worth, we've been given thousands.
Hey,
You talk
man, God,
about trusting and waiting on the God to restore when you even go through the worst, the worst, the worst. I was
wow.
embarrassed when we lost her. I promised my wife that would never happen. She had gone through life having move a lot because her dad was had a drinking problem and they would lose their home. And so I promised her we'd never have that happen. Well, guess what? I made some mistakes, guys. We did. But thanks to the God's blessing and his glory, his joy that he went in restoring our heart, two things happened to us. We met you guys in the team, which has helped us maintain our support and help through all of this. And even though I've had some health challenges lately, we're still moving forward. And we can only say thank you. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you for you guys. We love you all.
So only the beginning. Anybody else?
God bless you, Ron.
I know.
Are you doing the press night?
Yes, that's right. We're doing the got a makeshift office here in Colorado,
Okay.
and we're doing show and tell again. So
All
yeah,
right.
at 8 o'clock Eastern. I got to figure out the time again. What's that? 6 o'clock Mountain.
6. Yes,
So 6 o'clock
I can help
Mountain,
you with
8 o'clock Eastern.
that.
God bless
Okay.
everybody. As Brenda would say, we are the bestest travel team and
Oh,
search.
wait a minute.
Oh,
My little here it is. My little Mooka Pie went to sleep clockwork at 12 o'clock. That you could set an alarm clock by this little girl. But you know what I love to say? We are the most trusted travel team in Surge 365. We are winners. And I want everybody to have a great rest of the day. We look forward to seeing you, well, right now in the mountains of Colorado. Okay, bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Adios.